In 1881, Milton Hershey came back to his hometown after failing twice to start a candy store. He didn't have any money. He asked his uncles for a loan to start a new business, but they said no, insulted him, and kicked him out. This happened when chocolate was only for rich people. But Milton Hershey didn't give up. He left that house and created the biggest chocolate company globally, making chocolate affordable for everyone. This is the story of how one person became the face of the chocolate industry. Milton Hershey, born on September 13, 1857, in Derry Township, Pennsylvania, faced a lot of problems when he was young. His parents, Henry and Fanny Hershey, were poor farmers, struggling because his father's business failed. When Milton was 2, his father sold their farm to find oil. But it didn't work, and they became very poor. Fanny's brothers helped them by giving them a farm in Lancaster. Milton worked hard with his mother, raising chickens and selling eggs. His father kept trying different things. When winter came in 1867, it was so cold that Milton and his little sister Serena got very sick. Despite his mother's efforts, Serena's health got worse, and she developed scarlet fever, a deadly illness. Serena, at the age of 4, passed away. This sad event changed Milton's life. At the age of 10, he decided to do everything he could to make a better life for himself and his mother. So, shortly after, he left school and started a new journey. At 14, Milton got his first job working with a local printer named Sam Ernst. This printer job wasn't great though. It was boring, and the owner was often angry. After a few months, Milton couldn't take it anymore. He purposely broke a machine and got fired. His mom and her sister Maddie helped him get another job at a candy store owned by Joseph Royer. This is where Milton first got into the candy business. Making candies back then was experimental, with traditions passed down. The owner didn't trust Milton with the complex candy-making process, so he did simpler tasks like washing dishes and delivering treats. Milton's mom knew he needed to learn about candies, so she convinced the owner to teach him. Milton loved making candies, discovering how to mix ingredients and set prices. His father disapproved, saying candy making was a woman's job. Ignoring this, Milton worked for Mr. Royer for 4 years. With confidence in his candy knowledge, Milton and his mom decided to open their own candy shop. The problem was, Milton's savings weren't enough. Luckily, his auntie and uncles loaned him $100. With their support, at 19, Milton Hershey was ready to open his first shop. But it was not easy. In 1876, America was having its first big World's Fair in Philadelphia, 70 miles from Hershey's home. When Milton heard that 37 countries would join and millions would attend, he decided to open his candy shop at Philadelphia's Spring Garden Street. There, he sold various candies, ice creams, fruits, and nuts. Despite other candy shops nearby, Milton's stand was unique. He used an air show to spread the sweet smell of his candies outside, attracting customers. As his business grew, he needed a larger space. Sadly, after the trade fair ended, Milton's candy sales dropped. To survive, he sold his candies at a lower price to other shops. Then, sugar became too expensive, and his shop struggled. Milton borrowed money from his uncles, but over 5 tough years, he overworked himself, got sick, and ended up bedridden. His uncles eventually refused to lend more money, advising him to close the store. Milton had no choice but to declare bankruptcy, losing not only his business but also his family's trust. In 1881, Milton worked at a candy store in Denver, where they made special caramels using fresh milk, vanilla, and sugar. Impressed, he learned the process and wanted to open his shop in New York. His uncles refused a loan, but his Aunt Maddie helped him. In New York, he worked at Hyler's Candies and opened his own shop in 1884, selling Denver-style caramels. Though successful, his dad suggested adding cough drops, challenging a famous brand. Milton faced tough competition, and his business struggled, leading to bankruptcy in 1886. Despite failing, he didn't lose hope and decided to focus on what he knew best, caramels. Coming back to Lancaster wasn't easy for Hershey, but he gathered courage and approached his uncles for another loan. Unfortunately, they rejected him. With nowhere to go, Milton sought help from his former accountant, William Lebkicker, who provided the needed funds. Using leftover supplies, Hershey started making caramels and established the Lancaster Caramel Company. As sales grew, he reinvested earnings into production. Despite initial challenges and his aunt initially declining another loan, she eventually changed her mind. Hershey's unique caramel taste caught the attention of a British importer, leading to a large order. Struggling with funds, Milton approached the bank for an additional loan, impressing the officer with his determination. After shipping the caramels to London, Hershey received a check for 500 British pounds, relieving him of debts. Sales of Hershey's crystal caramels flourished, expanding both in Europe and the US. By 1894, Milton's company boasted several factories, making him wealthy and respected in Lancaster. Now in his 30s, Hershey, with a capable team, grew restless for new ventures. Once, Milton visited the Columbian Exposition in Chicago, unaware that this trip would change his life. There, he saw J.M. Lehman's demo of chocolate rolling machinery from Germany, proving chocolate could be mass-produced and made affordable. Seeing an opportunity, Hershey bought Lehman's equipment and experimented back in Lancaster. He incorporated the Hershey Chocolate Company, applying his fresh milk formula to chocolates. Despite adding many sweets, chocolate's success led Hershey to notice declining caramel sales in Europe. Thinking caramel was fading, he made a bold choice, selling his caramel business to focus entirely on chocolate. In 1900, Hershey sold his business for $1 million and promptly started building a large, modern factory. He sent trusted employees to learn chocolate-making secrets from competitors abroad. Facing issues in Lancaster due to political corruption, Hershey decided to create a new town on 1,200 acres of farmland in Dairy Church. However, as the factory walls rose in 1903, they still couldn't figure out how to mass-produce milk chocolate. The solution was closer than Hershey thought. In Lancaster, an ex-employee, Johnny Schmalbach, succeeded in creating a mild-tasting milk chocolate using condensed milk. This not only allowed for storage without spoiling, but also made mass production less expensive, a key element in the success of Hershey chocolate, thanks to Johnny's process. Even though Milton started selling his famous chocolate bars in 1900, it wasn't until 1906 that he could mass-produce them, selling for just 5 cents each. This affordability made them popular and widespread. The company's sales reached over $1 million, and in the following years, Hershey introduced iconic products like Hershey's Kisses and Hershey's chocolate bars with almonds. These, along with the original bar, brought immense success, making millions and expanding the factory to become the world's largest. As the company flourished, so did Hershey's planned community, Hershey Town. It included modern homes, schools, hospitals, and more. In 1909, he established the Hershey Industrial School for orphan boys. Despite intense competition, Hershey focused on a few products, reaching remarkable sales of $41 million by 1929. He led the company until his retirement in 1944, passing away a year later at 88. In recent times, the Hershey's Company has become one of the world's largest chocolate manufacturers with a market cap exceeding $44 billion. That is all for today's video. For more content, subscribe to our channel and give this video a thumbs up.